Are you tired of struggling to make it in today's economy? You're not alone. In fact, recent studies show that over 50% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck with little to no savings. That's a staggering statistic, and it's so easy to feel overwhelmed and quite frankly frightened when you're facing such financial uncertainty. As someone who is no stranger to facing financial struggles, I understand how hard it is to make a paycheck stretch as far as it needs to go. That's why in this video, I'm gonna share with you 7 must-know money rules that have helped me personally save money throughout the years. So the first rule is the 50-30-20 budget rule. 50-30-20 rule isn't some weird Nicki Minaj dance or a trendy diet. This rule recommends dividing your post-tax income into 3 different categories. 50% for necessities, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings. This approach will allow you to prioritize your expenses and focus on what's most important. You'll still have enough money to prioritize your expenses and your bills, but also still have a little bit of wiggle room for entertainment and everything else. And more importantly, you'll also be able to put aside some money towards your savings. I know you're thinking, what about my $5 latte habit? And I get it. I used to be a serial overspender and I would often run out of money before the month would even end. But the 50-30-20 rule was a game changer for me. It forced me to prioritize my spending and cut back on unnecessary purchases. And like any normal person, I had setbacks along the way. But once I realized that I didn't need a super expensive gym membership when I can just go to a public gym, and I didn't need to have a latte every day when I could just make coffee at home. Not only did I see that I was starting to save a lot of money, but it was empowering me to see that I was taking control of my finances. I was able to pay off debt and put aside money for an emergency fund. And I still had room for that occasional latte. The next rule is the 1% rule for impulse buys. We've all been there. You're walking down the street, you're window shopping, you see something shiny new that you had to have. If the item's expensive, this is where you'd use the 1% rule. When you want to buy something that exceeds 1% of your annual gross income, you have to wait 1 day before buying it. This waiting period will help you determine if this is a smart financial decision or if you're going to regret this later. I think it's wild that the average American spends on impulse buys $276 a month. And over a lifetime, that's almost $200,000. Back when I was a total impulse buyer, I would just buy things without even thinking about the consequences. I just thought they looked cool or it was a good deal and I would just go ahead and swipe. Once I started using this 1% rule, I became a lot more intentional with my purchases and I saw myself putting things back that I ultimately didn't need. There are times where I really wanted this thing, but I knew it wasn't worth 1% of my income to have. By cutting down on those impulse buys, I was able to save money, which allowed me to do things like go and travel and try new experiences that I wasn't able to afford previously. This might not be fun per se, and damn it, I know those shoes look cool, but trust me, it might be something that you need. Next is the 3x emergency fund rule. Let's face it, life's unpredictable and you never know when unexpected expenses pop up. Things like your car breaking down or medical expenses. These things that you can't predict that you need to be prepared for in case of an emergency. But a lot of people just don't know how much to save, which is where the 3x rule comes into play. This rule states that you should have 3 months worth of living expenses put aside in case of an emergency. Now I know a lot of people might be thinking, 3 months is a lot. Hell, 1 month is even a lot. But hear me out. I used to think that having an emergency fund was pointless. I never thought that something bad would actually really happen to me. I've always been a moderately lucky person and I'm a healthy dude, so it's all good. Then one day my car just completely gave out on me. I looked back on my account and I had no money to legitimately go and fix this. And I had to spend thousands of dollars on my credit card to get it resolved, or I couldn't go to work. It was like I had no choice. If I had an emergency fund, that stress of having to put money on my credit card could have been avoided. So after that experience, I heard about the 3x emergency rule and I told myself, all right, Blake, don't spend money on stupid junk just because you have that extra money in reserves. Put that towards a savings. And it wasn't easy. I had to give up a lot of non-essentials that I typically enjoyed looking forward to. But it was worth it knowing that if something like that ever happened again, because it's inevitable, that I wouldn't be stressed and burdened by financial debt. And I know 3 months is a lot, but if you could even try to get enough for 1 month, just whatever you do so you just have a bit of a cushion, it's going to save you in the long run. The next rule is the rule of automation. Let's face it, money saving can be hard. With bills and rent and the occasional impulse buy, by the time you're done, you could have literally almost no money left.
And it's gone.
But what if I told you that there was a way to save money without even thinking about it? That's where the rule of automation comes in. The rule of automation is simple. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking to your savings every single month. That way you don't have to remember to save. It just happens automatically. I know what you're thinking. Blake, I don't have enough money after I'm done paying my bills to put money towards savings. And yes, that's a classic conundrum, but that's where budgeting comes in. I used to be terrible at budgeting. I told myself that I would eat ramen for a month because I would save up money so I can do XYZ. And after 3 days, I'd be back to buying steak and drinking pina coladas. Once I started to automate my savings, things started to change for the better. I set up just a simple $50 to transfer every month from my checking to my savings. And you know what? I didn't even miss it. It was 50 bucks, okay. By the end of the year, that was 600 bucks that was sitting in my savings that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And when I did have my next financial emergency situation, I had that money sitting there for me to use. Trust me, your future self is gonna thank you for doing this. Do it today. Next is the item in, item out rule. This rule is all about reducing clutter and saving money in the process. Here's how it works. Every time you buy something new, you get rid of something old. When I first heard about this rule, I was skeptical. I was like, I love my stuff. I'm not getting rid of my stuff for new stuff. But then I looked around my apartment and I realized I had a lot of clutter that just accumulated throughout the years. Clothes I never wore, gadgets I never used, books I never read. It was kind of embarrassing, honestly. I was spending money on stuff that I didn't even use. So I decided to give the item in, item out rule a try, and it worked. Not only did it help me cut down on clutter, but it helped me be more intentional with my purchases. I asked myself, do I really need this, or is this just going to end up in that same pile of junk? And spoiler alert, the answer was, it's probably gonna end up in that same pile of junk. This is going to prevent so many future impulse buys for you, and it's going to free up a lot of space in your house. And as a bonus, I'm able to donate or sell stuff that I no longer need and either make more money or know that I'm making like a charitable contribution that I could feel good about. Next is the rule of 72. The rule of 72 is a simple math trick that allows you to determine how long it's going to take for your money to double based on the current interest rate that you're given. All you have to do is divide 72 by your interest rate, and that's going to tell you how long it's going to take in years in order for your money to double. For example, if you're earning a 6% interest rate, it's going to take you 12 years for your money to double. If you're earning a 12% interest rate, it's only going to take 6 years for your money to double. I know math could be boring, I'm terrible at it, but stick with me here for a moment. Understanding the rule of 72 can help you make better financial decisions and help you grow your wealth faster. Plus, it's a fun party trick to impress your friends. Now, I have to admit, I have made my fair share of investment mistakes in the past. I did a video talking about terrible investment decisions I made in the past that really screwed me up. But after learning about the rule of 72, I have realized the importance of diversifying my assets and being patient. I started to invest in a mix of stocks and bonds and mutual funds, and I just realized that I need to be patient and set reasonable goals and just allow things to happen at the normal pace they are instead of just looking for quick get-rich-quick schemes. And the best part is I don't have to make quick impulse decisions or even look at this stuff. Just let the power of compound interest do its thing and look back on it years later and just watch your money grow. Next is the 401k match rule. The 401k match rule is a way for employers to incentivize their employees to save for retirement by offering to match a certain percentage of the employee's contributions to their 401k plan. If your employer offers you this benefit, you should definitely take advantage of it. So your employer offers a 401k match up to 50%, up to 6% of your salary. This means if you contribute 6% of your salary towards a 401k, your employer will contribute 3%. So if you make $50,000 a year and you contribute 6% of that, that's $3,000, and then your employer will contribute an additional $1,500. That's free money. Come on, it's free money. And I have to admit, I was a little hesitant to contribute to a 401k plan at first. I mean, retirement's so far away. I have bills to pay now. Like, I need to live in the present. But then when I learned about the 401k match rule, I realized that I was leaving money on the table. There were times when I had to reduce my contributions because I had unexpected expenses that pop up, and that's normal. But I always try to contribute enough to get a match from my employer. After years of doing this, you'll start to see the benefits of contributing to this, and you will see that your retirement is getting more and more realized. This will give you some peace of mind knowing that you are actually setting yourself up for success in the future. So if your employer offers a 401k match, take it. One of the biggest myths is that you have to deprive yourself in order to save money. And I don't think that's true at all. I think that you can still enjoy the things you love while sticking to a set budget. People also think that you have to make a lot of money in order to save a lot of money, and I don't think that's true either. While having a higher income can be certainly helpful, it doesn't matter how high your income is if you're spending frivolously and you can't afford to keep up with the lifestyle that you have. Making money is great and all, but learning how to save your money is just as important, if not more important. By following these rules, you are going to set yourself up for success and be able to save that money and prepare for a better future. And it's a process just like anything else, but with time and consistency and patience, you'll start to see it pay off. If you guys got value out of this video, please hit that like button and also subscribe. And share it with someone that is trying to learn ways that they could save more money, and hopefully it helps for them too. Let me know in the comments if you've used any of these rules in the past and if they've worked and what your experience was, and if you have any other rules that you can contribute that can help other people as well. And if you liked this video, I'm sure you'll like this next video coming up, so give this one a watch after, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.